Hey everybody, this is a video we're going to put together. Welcome you to the ICM2 or ICM3 course actually. We're going to try to put together this video to show you where to go in the hospital to find patients. My name is Brian Atkins. I'm one of the co-coordinators for the course this year along with Dr. Moorhead. I'm working with one of the fourth year students here today to try to go ahead and show you where he found patients and how to successfully find patients. First of all, the place to look for patients for your ICM3 preceptor experiences will start off being the medical student lounge. Medical student lounge, it's easy to go ask the third years and fourth years who are on the rotation who on your service would be a good person to examine. Now, when you're trying to find the right patient, there's a lot of things you want to look for. First of all, you want to find somebody who can talk, who's awake enough to talk, who is not so demented they can't give me information. And you also want to find someone with a discrete complaint that came in forward to the hospital in a way that you can actually try to talk to that person and determine what's wrong with them. So what you want to ask the third and fourth years, who on your service seems like a nice person, nice guy or nice lady who wouldn't mind being talked to by a student, who is able to communicate with you, and who has a pathology that will be able to be identified by a basic history and physical exam and workup. Once you find out that information, you want to find out where the person in the hospital is. You also want to tell that third or fourth year student, in the interest of the game and the interest in learning well, don't tell me what's wrong with this person, I want to figure it out myself. Then you want to find that person in the hospital. They can help you by the computer find out where they are. Go find the person. Introduce yourself as one of the second year medical students that's wanting to talk to them to try to best learn how to figure out what's wrong with people essentially. And tell them, hey, I'm in the process of learning and practicing my examination techniques. I was hoping you could talk to me for a few minutes. Don't tell me what's wrong with you because it's very important to me to try to figure it out. Start in the lounge here where you got the third and fourth year guys and gals sitting around watching TV instead of doing real work. Ask them where they can go in the hospital and what patients are good. First, what we're going to do is we're going to show you different parts of the hospital where you can find patients if nobody's in the lounge to help you out. The primary areas that we've identified in talking to other preceptors and other students are the VA. Our veterans are, in addition to serving our country and being mostly fantastic people, they're also generally social people and willing to share their experiences, very patient and willing to give of their time. We'll show you how to get to the VA. Although we can't do any direct filming in the VA, we will tell you where the VA hallway is, how to get there, and then where to go in the VA to find information. The next place we're going to talk about is the upstairs floors, and we'll show you generally where the best place, the internal medicine residency room, where they can find them and ask them about the teams, patients are on their teams, who is good. And then we'll show you how to get to the emergency department from here, because the emergency department is going to be full of patients that you can potentially talk to. And then we'll kind of go from there.
Hey, my name is Sakeem Matalib. I'm one of the fourth year med students here. What I'm going to show you is how to get to the VA from the med student lounge. So we're right outside the med student lounge. If you go down this hallway through here, you will reach the VA hallways where you'll go down and look for the tower elevators to go up to the floors where the medicine teams will be. So right now we just walked down the hall from the student lounge and we're here at the entrance to the VA Medical Center. What you're going to want to do is go down the hall and find the main elevators. When you go to the main elevators, go to the 5th floor, and that's where all the medicine team rooms are going to be, and they're colored rooms. You want to go and try to knock on all the doors and see if the medicine teams are available at that time. During the day, all 4 teams will be there taking care of their patients, but at night they rotate between the 4 different colors on who is going to be there to admit the patients. So you might have to try all 4 before you find a team available to find some patients for you. Now, if you can't find any of the attendings or any of the residents in those rooms available to you, you can always ask one of the nursing stations to ask what team is on call that night, or where you can find one of the doctors, or even better yet, ask them if they know about the patients and if they know any new patients coming in or any patients that will be willing to talk to medical students for the ICM class. So now we're right down the hall in the opposite direction from the med student lounge. What we're going to do is walk toward the main elevators where you can go upstairs to find the other medicine teams. So here are the main elevators for the old Chandler Hospital. If you get lost, just look for the gift shop on the opposite side, and then these will be the A elevators. So now we're on the 6th floor, we're right outside the A elevators. If you come out and take an immediate right outside of the A elevators, you'll find this door right here, and this is the room where you'll find all the internal medicine residents. You're more than welcome to come in here and knock on the door. They'll open the door for you, and you can ask them for some patients you can see for your ICM2 class. They're all very helpful, and they'll point you in the right direction to see some good patients. So coming off the elevators here, if we take an immediate left, we can walk down the hall and we'll find one of the nursing stations where you can also ask for more patients. So right down the hall, this is going to be one of the nursing stations where you will find most of your patients' chart if you need any more information. Also, you'll notice right across from the nursing station is another workroom where you can find some residents to ask about patients. So right now we're by the main cafeteria in the old hospital. What we're going to show you now is how to get from here to the emergency room. In the ER, you'll be able to find quite a few patients that you'll be able to see. There'll be a large number of patients there. And a nice part of it is that none of them have been worked up yet. So you can take an active role in helping work up some of these patients. Plus, there's plenty of residents and attendings down there to help. So let's get on our way. So we're walking into the atrium of the main hospital. If you notice down there, that's the doors that we just came from for the cafeteria of the old hospital. And if you were to go down this side, this will be the Gill Heart Center and also the entrance to the old hospital. So we're gonna walk down the stairs into the atrium itself, and then the ER is on the other side of this main lobby. So right now we're in front of the entrance of the new hospital, in front of the information desk. You can always just walk outside and come in through the front entrance, and what we'll show you is a little hallway that'll take you down to the ER. The hallway that you're going to go down to get to the ER. You'll notice emergency room is pointed this way. There's not really any other turns to take. You just walk down this long hallway, take a left over here, and you'll be in the lobbies for the pediatric and the adult ERs. So we just walked down the main hallway. What we're going to do now is come around to the lobbies for both the pediatric and the adult emergency rooms. What you're going to want to do is come here to the lobby and talk to one of the receptionists. Show them your badge and tell them that you're a medical student working with the ICM course. Here is the entrance for the pediatric side. And if you just go right down around this corner, you'll get to the adult side. When you come here, tell one of the receptionists that you're working with the ICM course and you have your medical badge, but you don't have access to the emergency room. They all should be aware that you are able to come down here to see patients, and they'll let you in. So now we'll be walking into the adult side of the emergency room. Here you'll see the main corridor for the adult ER. If you go toward the right side, that'll be the pediatric side. If you go down the left side, you will see the adult side. Around these main pods is where you'll find most of the residents that you'll be able to ask about patients. Also, nursing staff is available to ask any questions for the patients. This fishbowl right here is where you're going to find most of the residents that you'll see taking care of the patients. Also, if you look up on the screens, you'll have a list of all the patients that are here in the ER right now. If they're glowing in pink, that means the resident has not seen it yet. And if you see their name underneath, that's the resident you would want to talk to find out more about the patient and if they would be a good patient for your project. So here in the fishbowl, what you can do is look up on the screen to see the patient name and, most importantly, the patient complaints. Once you find a complaint that relates to whatever you're studying at the time, whatever exam that you're practicing, be it neuro exam, abdominal exam, eye exam, whatever the case may be, you can talk to one of the residents and see if they would be an appropriate patient for you to see. Ideally, the best patients you would want to see are the ones that are more likely to be admitted, so that the next day or over the next couple of days when you will go back to see them with your attending and your ICM team, you can go into the patient room, talk about the previous exam findings, and see how they've improved and see what type of things that you might have missed and what type of things you did very well on.
As you can see, there are a lot of different places you can find your patients for the ICM3 course. What we would like you to focus on is finding the right kind of patients. I also want you to be cautious when you do examine the patients, because depending on the level of acuity, how ill or debilitated some of your patients are, you don't want to get them up and walk them around or do things that may put the patient in harm. The key is knowing the right places to go to. The student lounge, the medicine residence room called the BS room, the emergency department. I'd also say the different color, there are 4 colors of I think purple, red, and a couple other colors for VA residence room where the team's set. That's where you're going to have your most luck finding the right kind of patient. What you want is someone with discrete pathology, someone who's able to communicate, someone who is personal enough to want to talk to a student. And you also want to talk ideally to a person who will probably be in the hospital the next day or later that afternoon so your team can see them. Other places you might be able to find patients for the future, depending on where your preceptor primarily works and where their comfort zone is, would be Samaritan. I'm aware that evidently there's a great number of patients on the Samaritan 4th floor if you go to the 4th floor to the residence workroom. However, you want to make sure before you see those patients that your attending preceptor is comfortable going to the Samaritan hospital as opposed to staying here. If they're actually stationed at that point, you may talk about it before some of your sessions to see if it would be appropriate to see some Samaritan patients. Some of your preceptors may have you see patients in the clinic, if they do have clinic. Some of them may have you see patients also in the VA emergency department, depending on the setting. No matter what kind of troubles you have, the best resources around you are the upper level medical students. I would say the general medicine and emergency medicine residents. If you have any questions or need help finding an appropriate patient, you can always feel free to contact me as well.